Welcome, my dears, Cosmic Insight Astrology. I am your co-pilot, Christina. Today, we're going to talk about Jupiter moving, ingressing in Aries, May 10th, which is going to be tomorrow. And it is a really magnificent, it's a really great energy. So I'm going to talk about a little bit Jupiter first. Jupiter is a gas giant. It's actually built up from helium and hydrogen as well. And it includes a little bit of methane and ammonia. It is the largest planet in our solar system, and it is the fifth planet from the sun. Whatever it touches in our life, it's expanding. Jupiter often called Santa Claus as well, and my son, my 13-year son, really loves mythology. He doesn't really agree with that because one day he came home and he said, "What are you talking about? Jupiter is so great. He was a cheater. He was cheating on Juno, and I really don't like cheaters, whatever." So he doesn't really think Jupiter is all good. And actually, if it's in a bad house, for example, in 6th house or the house of health or 8th house, it could, or 12th house even, it could create some kind of issues and problem, or if it is in a bad aspect in your natal chart, or even by transit or progression. All right, so Jupiter is the sky of is the god of heaven and sky. Jupiter was the son of Kronos, which is Saturn, and the son of Ops, the Earth Mother. And he had siblings. He had siblings Pluto, which became a dwarf planet right now, and which rules the 8th house and responsible for death, sex, and transformation, and multiple other things. And Ceres, the asteroids. And he had multiple sons and children as well. And one of them was Vulcano, Minerva, and Mars. And right now, Jupiter gonna move actually to Aries, which is ruled by planet Mars, the warrior. Very interesting, because by essential dignity, Jupiter loves to be in Cancer. It's exalted over there. It feels really good and very giving, very nurturing. But it's actually a detriment in Gemini, and it is in full in Capricorn. And Saturn, the father of Jupiter, rules Capricorn. But, the father usually is really strict, so Jupiter doesn't like all the rules that Saturn gives him, and, all the discipline that Saturn gives him. So Jupiter is in rulership actually in Sagittarius and in Pisces. And you can ask, oh my God, that is two really different signs over here. Sagittarius is a fire sign, right? And mutable though, just like Pisces is also mutable. But Pisces is ruled the ocean, and it's governed really right now. The modern ruler is Neptune, the higher octave of love, but it's originally the old avatar is Jupiter. But Jupiter has also double sides. So for example, Jupiter rules Sagittarius in daytime and rules Pisces at nighttime. So Jupiter really more active in fire sign. In the daytime, ruler is always more active in astrology. So what can I say over here? I can say in Sagittarius, Jupiter feels absolutely giving, and the planet Jupiter in rules the color yellow and gold. And For example, if I have to talk about, because I'm an herbalist as well, and if we talk about herbs, it rules, for example, mint and saffron. And actually, I just made saffron and mint tea for myself because it's really good for digestion and weight loss. It's also good, saffron, for example, good for PMS and menopause as well. And it is also, the mint is cooling the body because of Jupiter is a hot and dry planet. It is really created just from the same gases like sun was created from. So mint over here, it cools the body down, and saffron is also good for, you know, like because of Jupiter also responsible for obesity and liver issues. For example, when Jupiter gonna move to Aries, we can expect a lot of hepatitis outbreak. And I have seen the news, it's already started like a week ago somewhere in Arizona, some children get hepatitis, but I can feel and I can see it's going to have more outbreak because of its rules the liver as well. All right, so Jupiter is in exaltation degree, in the 5th degree. And if I see that, and you know, that is also Jupiter rules the numerology 5 number, so it's ruled by Jupiter. So actually that is the exaltation degree. That's where it feels really, really good. And when right now, Jupiter, May 10th, move to Aries, it's only going to go up to 7 degrees at first time. So you have to check in your chart, in your natal chart, if you have any planet in Aries, up to 7 degrees, because Jupiter goes back and forth on that 3 times. So for example, I have Venus in 0 degrees Aries, and actually it's a bird axis, it's a karmic degree, and Venus is all about love, and I have Aries in my 5th house, so it's a lot of joy I expect, or some kind of investment can pay off for me, or you know, like some kind of creative project could be fulfilled. But I'm going to talk about all the signs actually toward this little show, the talk show over here, or podcast, or however we want to, astrology podcast over here. All right, so Jupiter, let's move forward. What else does it rule? It rules, every single planet rules one day during the week, and Jupiter actually rules Thursday. And why? Because of, in Latin, we called it Lovis Dies, which is like jolly day, which is like Jupiter day, Thursday. So it's the Greek name of Jupiter is Zeus, god of the heavens, right? And they also called it Javad, so that's why it's coming from Latin, the Lovis Dies, because it means optimistic, and it means actually joyful as well. So it rules gold, so that's why I have a lot of gold today on. And it also rules, because of Pisces rules amethyst, and amethyst is the higher knowledge, connection with the higher knowledge. It rules amethyst as well, but it rules a lot of other stones like lapis lazuli, because of in the old Roman ages, when they took an oath, and even when Jupiter took an oath and married with Juno, actually they were married on a lapis lazuli stone. So that is the oath stone, and that's why it's ruled by Jupiter as well. So whenever you want to pray for Jupiter or enchant the energy of Jupiter, you can do that on Thursdays, every single Thursdays. And if you have a weak Jupiter in your chart, for example, your Jupiter is in Gemini or in Capricorn, or it has some very bad opposition or squares, then you can actually create some kind of remedies for this Jupiter. So for example, you can have yellow caps, yellow turbans on, you can have yellow clothes, you can use a lot of gold on yourself, it's enhancing the energy. You can actually eat turmeric, and if you have an altar in your house, or if you want to enhance this energy, put that on the northeast, because Jupiter actually rules the northeast in our home. and you put over there an altar. And you know, every single culture has different symbols of prosperity, and because of Jupiter rules prosperity, excuse me, you put the symbol from your country, from your belief system on that altar. So you can put that in Ganesh if you are Indian, or also I just heard from my friend recently, coconut husk and coconut beet husk actually in Indian culture symbolize prosperity and money. So you can put a coconut over there on your altar. You can put actually, and in Feng Shui, because I'm a Feng Shui practitioner as well, and I finished Bazi and 5 elements Feng Shui degrees I have. In Feng Shui right now, the flying stars every single year changing, every single year at the Chinese New Year. So at this moment in 2022, the year of Tiger, the prosperity star, the 8th prosperity star went to northeast, where is Jupiter resides, and where is Jupiter the strongest. So if you put there a prosperity altar, then it would be really auspicious for you. And every single Thursday, you can actually chant or pray or invite the prosperity energy in your life. So for example, if you are Hindu, or if you are practicing yoga or any kind of Hindu beliefs, you can actually chant, and anyone else could really chant the Om, Gram, Grim, Soha, Gurve, Nama, and you can do that 28 times. You can also use a lapis lazuli mala braids over here, and either you chant everything 28 times, or either you're going to do it 108 times. So lapis lazuli is connection with the divine energy, and because of Jupiter rules the 9th house, which is Sagittarius, and that's the divine, that's the heaven, you can use that as well. All right, so let's move forward. Yes, we talked about who he married with, and yes, he was indeed a cheater, but definitely it is a very joyful and optimistic planet. And Jupiter also rules actually abundance and achievement. And for example, animals with valuable furs as well. It also rules publishing and writers, advisors and awards. It also rules the older siblings, for example, justice, integrity, Judaism, and it's actually rules the crowns and the crown jewelers. It also rules trading, and it also rules your hip, your liver, and it also rules actually tumors in your body. So any kind of growing in the body. That's why I said Jupiter not all good, because it's touching it's expand everything what it's touching. So if it's in the 6th house and it's conjunct on your moon, the transit Jupiter, it could create a breast tumor over there. All right, it could show, not create. It could show a breast tumor over there. Okay, so what else does it rules? It rules religion, and actually reforms and religious leaders. It also rules the Republican Party and scholars and the truth. And passports and foreign affairs, embassies and immigration, foreign lands, higher education, and it rules the elite, the riches. In actually 12th house, it has a different meaning over there, because it could rule, you know, the 12th house is it co-rules with Neptune, so it could rule orphanages, vacation homes, it could also rule foreign vacations, it could rule prisons, and you know, like expand addiction, for example, in Pisces. It could create addiction with not beneficial planets over there. So going back to big Jupiter and create a Jupiterian energy right now, it is actually on your altar, you can also put some kind of gold bars. It could be like you can put some kind of frankincense and myrrh, for example. You can put saffron as well on your altar when you want to pray for Jupiter and when you want to create a Jupiterian altar. So you can actually use royal blue color or yellow color for Jupiter, because, you know, Jupiter also rules Pisces, and Pisces is water sign. So over there it rules the royal blue. You can use candles, either one candle on your altar or either 4 candles on your altar. And it could be blue or yellow or gold, right? So when you are praying for Jupiter, you can also use turmeric, and you can also use any kind of spices which is like golden, like ginger powder, turmeric, frankincense. So those kind of what is that, herbs you can use. And also you can use peppermint, and you can use rhubarb, that is very Jupiterian, because Jupiter was also in 12 house can create alcoholism. It rules also dandelion milk crystal. It's good for the liver, it's good for detoxification. And yes. So let's see what else. So we were talking about the prosperity star in Feng Shui, and we were talking about the direction, the northeast of Jupiter. And, you know, Jupiter is a mere fiery energy, and it's a mutable energy. And actually, it is giving you a lot of possibilities. And what else I wanted to, let's talk about what it's going to do actually in Aries, when it's going to go to Aries. Actually, in Aries, Jupiter is really, really bold. As I said, it's only going to go up to 7 degrees, and it's going to lean back and forth, like a swing, swinging back and forth up to 7 degrees until December 20. And December 20, it's moving forward again in Aries, and then it's going to go all the way up till May 16, 2023, when it's gonna enter actually Taurus, the next sign. So as I said, Jupiter has a 12 years of orbit, so it takes him 12 years to go around the Earth. It is a social planet. We call it Saturn, and Jupiter really is a social planet. They are very slow compared with Mercury, Mars, Venus, and Moon, and, you know, and Sun, but you know, it's not that slow like Pluto or Neptune, which takes forever to go around its orbs. So yeah, Jupiter is a social planet. It loves to socialize, and in Aries, actually, it's really bold and it's fearless. It's really inspired and enthusiastic and very, very courageous. It's thriving in Aries. Why? Because of, as I said, it rules daytime, Sagittarius, and it's a fiery planet. And Aries is a fire sign as well. And it's a cardinal fire sign. And Jupiter in May 10th, which is tomorrow, gonna actually move on the world axis, a karmic degree, cardinal sign, fire sign, 0 degree. It's a world axis. So you can expect a positive enthusiasm, you know, like not, of course, not right away tomorrow, but most of the people actually literally will have so much fun and so much opportunities tomorrow. And so then it's going to slowly move forward to 7 degrees, and then it's going to go to retrograde and in September, and it's going to move back even to Pisces. So, for example, October 28th, it's gonna enter Pisces again, but in a retrograde station. And it's only going to back to Pisces to 28 degrees. So in Pisces, it's going to create another conjunction, not tight and not exact conjunction, but it's going to create a conjunction with Neptune again, which, you know, could create more issues with oil, or it could create more issues with flooding, for example. And as I said in my previous videos, when this ingress happening, it's not necessarily happen that day. You have to understand those planetary aspects has different kind of cycles. So for example, when Mars-Saturn cycle, it's a 2.5-year cycle. For example, also Sun and Mars cycle, it could be 18-month cycle. The eclipse, for example, the Taurus eclipse that we had, the partial solar eclipse in April 30th, and it's pretty auspicious. It could actually affect you for half year. But for example, the 16th of May eclipse, which is a Scorpionian, really intense eclipse we're going to experience, it could affect right away because Scorpio is intense and it creates like a significant change right away in our life. But Jupiter going to be back in Aries actually in 12 years. So it creates a 12-year cycle. And what's happened 12 years ago, actually it was 2010 and 2011 when Jupiter was in Aries previously. And 2010, it's only was there for 3 months from July 10th till July, August, September, and in September it's moved back in Pisces, and then January, end of January, 11th of January 2011 moved to Aries again until end of May. That's happened then. So a lot of things happened. And in Aries, for example, Osama bin Laden was killed in 2011, May 2nd. And we had the Arabic Spring in 2011. So it was a lot of protest in different Arab countries when Jupiter was in Aries, actually. And I did have a lot of, yes, actually it was a nuclear disaster in Fukushima. On a nuclear power plant, and actually Burma also moved towards to, democracy. Also, it was what else was there? Oh my! I know I created a note over here. You know what? I'm going to remember that later on for sure. But right now I am going to go back and talk about what could create actually for every single sign. So definitely we can have some kind of earthquake. We can have some kind of like Jupiter rules really the head and it rules the liver as well. No, Aries rules the head and Jupiter rules the liver. So as I said, some kind of hepatitis outbreak could come as well for us. And it could be, well, let's see, I don't see myself. I hope I'm still on. Yes, I'm still on. Let me minimize myself. All right. Okay, I can't minimize myself. Okay, that's all right. Okay, so let's go to sign for everyone right now. And I have that little wheel over here. And I'm going to start with Aries again, because it's going to your sign, right? For Aries, the first house, it's your self-esteem, your body. It is the way you are, the way you pretend. It is your ego. So when Jupiter goes to your first house here, Aries, it's representing for you something like I'm going to create and reinvent myself. I'm going to be more courageous and more outgoing even. And Aries is pretty much an outgoing planet, an outgoing sign, but with Jupiter over there, it's extremely optimistic. It feels really good. As I said, Jupiter in Aries feels good because both of them is fire related, like Sagittarius and Aries, both of them are fire. And because of Jupiter is in its own sun's house, so it doesn't feel controlled. It has a lot of fun over there, and really, really bold and fearless over here. So Aries is going to have quite a blessing over here, especially if you have any planet between 0 and 7 degrees Aries. Check it. Actually, you can go on astro.com or Astro Cafe, or just type in free astrology birth chart. It's a lot of option going to come in, and type in your birthday details, the time of birth, the date of birth, and the city and country of birth. And then you're going to see where do you have planets between 0 and 7 degrees, because those degrees going to be affected. If you have any planets in earth sign, or if you have any planets in fire signs, because of, air signs, not earth signs, air signs, because of, with air signs, the fire, it's sextiling, and with another earth sign, it's trining, which both is really a auspicious aspect, very, very welcoming in our life. So if you have anything in Leo and Sagittarius from 0 to 7 degree, it's going to swing back and trine over and over again. It's giving you new opportunities, right? So if you are an Aries and Aries rising, and if it's Jupiter gonna go to your first house, so your ego is going to change. You're going to be very optimistic. You're not gonna have that kind of sluggish energy. Jupiter was in your 12th house previously. You were tired, sluggish. You were like, it was overwhelming for you, everything. So right now in the first house, you are initiating right away. Let's go, let's move forward. I can gain the word within a day. And because of Sagittarius is actually in your 9th house and Leo actually in your 5th house, so it's trining with those aspects. So if you have any planet in Leo between 0 to 7 degrees, it's gonna trine with that. So your investment actually could become amazing, or you're going to have a lot of joy or really good time with your children as well. And it could trine with your 9th house as well, which is traveling, higher education, get expected in a university, or actually going for long distance traveling. So that is really truly auspicious for you guys. And if you have any planet in Gemini, or if you have any planet in Aquarius, Aries within 0 and 7 degrees, it's going to sextile with those degrees over there, which is your friends. So your friends actually can help you to reinvent yourself, or your friends actually can help you to enter a higher social circles, right? Okay, so let's move forward to Tauruses. All right. It's gonna be in your 12th house right now. That is a lot of spiritual change over there. Jupiter loves to be in 12th house actually, because rules Pisces and rules 12th house, right? But over here, it's totally different meaning. Like, for example, Aries before had a lot of enthusiasm. For you, dear Tauruses, it's a lot of spiritual change. It's changing your mental status. It could actually help you to leave behind an addiction. Any kind of addiction could be that. It could actually stop your nightmares if it's well aspected. If it's not well aspected, it could create the opposite. But you have to understand it's a general reading, right? So it's a whole sign tropical reading for all the signs, and I have to see your chart to make it personal for each individual. But in general, for Tauruses, it could actually make you dreamy. It could actually make you work behind the scenes. So this is the time right now to write a script, to create behind the scene. Actually, you can get into a school which is like a stage designer or custom designer schools, and it's really good for art. It's really good to compose music, for example, or photographers. This is the time when you have to take the photos. So whenever it's gonna be in your first sign, and it's gonna be actually next year already gonna enter your first house, Tauruses, because from 2023, May 16, it's gonna move to Taurus. You can actually do an art show, or you can represent for the public your art. So this is when you are working behind the scene. You are not ready to promote your work yet. It's not fun time for you, but this is really beautiful time to create and actually having retreats. So if you want to get healed from a mental illness or any kind of addiction, this is the time you might going to go to a foreign country, because of 12th house is foreign vacations, also overseas vacations, and Jupiter is supporting that in your 12th house, and do some kind of ayahuasca retreat or whatever you want, or yoga retreat, or any kind of, like a retreat center you go to and get some kind of spiritual, go to Peru at Machu Picchu, something like that could represent for you as well. It is really good for orphans, so you might even go to Jamaica in an orphanage and helping 2 orphans, reading for them, or those kind of really meaningful, very spiritual traveling could happen for you as well. What else? It is secret enemies. So Jupiter over here actually can bring justice to secret enemies. Actually, you didn't even know you had a secret enemy. That's why it's secret, right? Secretive. So, but it's bring them to limelight for you, and you get justice. Because Jupiter is justice as well. So they're going to be justified for you. All right. So let me see my Gemini. So it's gonna move to your 11. So here is, I'm just looking at this little wheel over here and where it can affect for you. No, let me go back to actually Tauruses. So no Gemini yet. So what is it going to trine for you? So it's going to trine with your 8th house, and it's going to trine with your 4th house as well. So Virgo and Capricorn. So if it's in a good aspect, actually you can create some kind of buy a home in a foreign land, because 4th house is real estate, and if it's trining with any planet over there, you can do that. And with Capricorn in 8th house, 8th house is wheels, 8th house is power, but Capricorn also, it's like government. So it could be like, all right, I got some other people's money, I got some kind of investment income from other people's, maybe a loan, maybe from a project, which could represent I want to build a hotel in a foreign country, and I'm going to get loan for it. It could bring in, if you have any planet from 0 to 7 degree, and if it's trining with this Jupiter, it could actually have an auspicious, like for example, I had kind of inheritance, but I didn't sell the house yet, but right now I'm capable to sell it, and the money is coming in for me right now. Yes, so loans, other people's money, if you have anything is 8th house in Capricorn, and if you have anything in 4th house in Virgos, and trining with that, that's very auspicious real estate issues, or inheritance as well. So let's go to Gemini, and then it's going to your 11th house, Geminis. Okay, 11th house is great. It's like reputation. It is your social status, it's friends. Really, it's money from your career as well, because it's 2nd house from 10th. So 10th is your career, and 2nd house from 10th, it's like money, income. And it's also an investment house as well. And Jupiter over here going to give you a lot, but a lot of friends. And it's going to be a different social circle. So you're going to have a leap over here in social circles. You're going to you always want to belong from somewhere which is higher for you. And you are capable to get that. And actually it is your friendship zone is going to expand, Gemini. So it's really good. You can get an award, or you can get a really good investment paying off. And 11th house ruled by Aquarius, and it's ruled by the old avatar is Saturn, and the new is Uranus. Uranus is anything with social media, it's anything with what kind of energy? It's energy, actually, energy. And so, you know, it could be like some kind of, you invested before in energy, and it's paying off right now. It's bringing the money in for you. So if you have any planet also in 7th house, yes, in 7th house for you, let me see, yes, 7th and 3rd house, then actually it will be something with social media, something with younger siblings, something with creating a podcast, a new website perhaps, something with marriage. You actually can get some kind of very luxurious trip from your marriage partner, or you can get some kind of luxurious surprise from your marriage partner. It could be also because 11th house representing or third marriage. So if you already been married twice, you could actually have your third marriage coming through, and a proposal with kind of trining over here. And it's also sextiling with your 9th house and with your 1st house. So all right, Geminis, it could be some really great reconnection with an older siblings, or some kind of long distance traveling as well for you. Okay, let me see what's going to go for Cancers. Cancers, it's going to really create an amazing reputation for you, and your career is changing, and it's going to be really beneficial change for you all. So 10th house is also your father figure. It could be a reconnection with a father figure or a mentor, with a guru as well. And it is your reputation, it is your fame, it's the house of fame. So for example, Jupiter over here in Aries for you, it could create like a very initiating fame, but it could be very fast because Aries ruled by Mars. So it will be like, oops, I'm just going to create this fame really, really fast for myself. Overnight, I'm going to be famous overnight. 10th house also reputation. So if you had some kind of issue with your reputation, you can gain that back. And it could be firm right now for the next 12 years you're creating, or you can get actually a proposal, or you can get an opportunity for a new position in your career, and a new achievement in your career. And this Jupiter over here, as I said, it's not going to be only for a year for you here, but it's actually settling a 12-year cycle. So if you are changing job, or if you get a promotion, it's going to be great for the next 12 years for you. So, all right, so it's trining with your 6th house and trining with your 2nd house, and 2nd house is your income. So that kind of promotion going to actually increase your income, your valuables as well. And 6th house is your health. So even if it's trining with 6th house planets, you should still watch out, Cancers, because of 6th house and Jupiter over there, even with a trine, could create some kind of health issues. They're gonna tell you why. Because of you could be overworked. You get a promotion, you want to actually prove yourself for the new, you're going to be a leader, a CEO, or whatever. You need to work a lot, and that's why your health could get declined. So careful with that. But other than that, with like your valuables going to grow, your income, your finances, your reputation. So for Cancers, it is really, really good, Jupiter. All right, in Aries. Let me see, Leos. Leos, Jupiter gonna go to your 9th house. 9th house is as you know, ruled by Jupiter. Actually, it's abundance, achievement, it's animals with fur, it's judgment, it's Judaism, it's charity, it's color, it's truth, it's really royalty. It's really auspicious over here, and it's in a fellow fire sign, right? So it's going to trine with your own sun or on ascendant or moon if you have in Leo, but it's gonna trine with that Jupiter. So it's giving you an extra boost, right? And with your first house, and actually it's also giving an extra boost with your fifth house, which is investment, children. So Leos, actually you can expect to be maybe even pregnant, or you can have a second marriage if you already been married once. You can have a second marriage this year by this Jupiterian Aries. But fifth house rules your joy, so there is going to be a lot of laughter if you have any planet in fifth house, because obviously at one point Jupiter gonna trine with those fifth house planets, or if you have any planet, obviously you do have something in Leo, because of I'm talking about Leo, so either your rising, your moon, or your sign over here. So it's gonna trine, and if you are lucky enough to have those planets and ascendant 0 to 7 degree, it's going to trine 3 times. So you are like get steroid shot like 3 times, and it's a booster energy, very initiating energy. You're going to recreate your ego as well. You're going to be really self-confident. You want to be in the limelight, Leo. So it is also very auspicious energy for you, because you are a fire sign as well. So definitely could get a second marriage in Leos, or definitely it could be something amazing with a long distance traveling. You can study something like a higher education, a master degree could come in, and you know, like whatever I said over there, it's you can become a leader, and it's going to create amazing integrity in your life, and definitely some happy, joyful. And you know, fifth house is romance as well, so it doesn't necessarily have to be marriage, but some kind of romantic partner. And let's say Jupiter is a foreigner, so a lot of you going to get courtship with foreign people. All right, let's move to Virgos, my lovely Virgos. It's going to your 8th house, and 8th house, you know, transformation. It's heavy. It's heavy over here. Okay, 8th house is transformation. It's death, sex, sexuality, reproductive organs, pregnancies, miscarriages, other people's money, banks, inheritances. But Jupiter over here in your 8th house actually getting rid of karma. For example, you can pay off your karmic debts, but also you can actually have inheritance coming into you. And you know, many times people are like, I have nothing to inherit, my parents are poor or whatever. I'm not only, when I'm talking about inheritance over here, it is like you have to deal with a situation which could be inheritance, but it could be a funeral as well, right? Because, you know, like somebody dies, so that's kind of anything could be inheritance. It could be a jewelry, it could be a pictures of my mother, something, but you have to deal with that kind of loss, karmic debt paid off. So over here, Virgos. Okay, so but what it will, so on the positive aspect, Jupiter here could, you know, like you get along, or some kind of a very wealthy person could be actually founded for you, and I'm going to give a foundation for you for your new project, and that could be this new project. So it's going to actually sextile with your 10th house and your 6th house. So definitely that it's the 6th house, because of the 6th house, it's going to be some kind of health regime going on for you. So you're going to change your daily routines and your work. But it's a positive energy over here. So you might going to hire a lot of employees, but also what you have in your 10th house, also sextiling here with your 10th, it could create like, okay, it's giving me a really good reputation or a new career. I just want to start a new career. And 8th house, I need money for it, so I'm going to get a loan for that. And what else could be that? So it's going to actually trine with your 12th house and trine with your 4th house. Yes, all right. So real estate, decorate. So it could be like I'm going to renovate my home, or that's it. I have to move. I have to rent a new house, or I have to move into a new house. I don't want to be where I am right now, because Virgos, let me see. Yeah, inheritance could come in and it could help you to buy your dream house. And with the 12th house matters, it's trining, it's representing some karmic issue, karmic debt is paid off, and you can get rid of some kind of addiction, mental blockages. But you know, Jupiter in 8th house can make you very, very spiritual and intuitive. Like you are capable to see the other world. You're capable to connect with the relatives who passed away. And if it's going to make any trine with a planet in your 12th house, what's going to happen? It's going to be actually good, because it's going to be like your intuition going to be really great. Lucid dreaming is going to be really great. And let me see what Jupiter rules for you. So Jupiter originally rules your 7th house, and it rules your 4th house. Yes. So, Sagittarius, yeah, there is a move could happen for you, Virgos. Or it doesn't even have to be a move, just buy another property somewhere or invest in real estate to preserve your money. Because 8th house is banks, and I'm not comfortable with banks anymore, and I'm going to preserve my money in some kind of real estate matters. Okay, let's see Libras, Jupiter is going to your 7th house, wedding, marriage proposal, engagement could come up for you. It could be a foreign person, as I said, or it could be coming from another religion. So, and actually Jupiter rules Judaism. So it could be like I'm going to convert to Judaism through I'm married with a Jewish husband or Jewish wife or something like that. Or it could be, Jupiter could rule actually Hungarians as well, because Hungarians has Sagittarius in the natal chart, and Russians as well. So it could mean like, yeah, I could have a partner from those kind of Eastern European countries as well. Okay, and in 7th house, it's one-on-one relationship, and it is also representing some kind of friends, but just one-on-one. It's not a group, it's not a community. So it's expand, and it could give you amazing business dealing. And it could actually have fun with your partner. It's going to be a very loyal, or it could come someone from a royal group. So you might even meet someone who is royalty, and get married with someone who is royalty or higher social class, or a judge, or a leader. Okay, it's going to actually sextile with your 9th house and with your 5th house. So this marriage, this proposal could actually bring in a child as well. And also it's going to trine with your 3rd house and with your 11th house. So this kind of marriage also can lift you up to a higher social circle. So definitely the partner who you will encounter married with, or marry with, or engage with, it is a leap of higher social circle over there. So you're going to change friends, and you're going to leave behind friends, because you're not going to have time anymore. You will become different through this marriage. And the 3rd house here, it is your siblings, so you can make up with a younger sibling, or a friend who, if you had a lost connection with a friend, so this is the time right now to make amends with a sibling or friends, or it could be like, you know what, this is a good time for me to create a new social platform. Because of where I belong from, I don't, 11th was also where I belong from, I don't feel comfortable anymore. So I need to create a new social platform for myself. All right, let's see, my dear Scorpios. It's gonna go to your 6th house, and Jupiter in 6th house, I don't necessarily like. First of all, on the optimistic side, you can hire new people, right? All right. And also you are capable to change the circumstances at your work. So Jupiter over there could be a blessing at work area, your daily routine. But in health related issues, it could be something that's growing on your body or in your body. So in health wise, I don't like Jupiter in the 6th. It could create tumor, cyst, or situation growth on the body. And you know, 6th house ruled by Virgo, and it's associated with our intestines. So check out your intestines, check out any kind of fatty something growing on your body, and take care of it right away. Don't let it go, you know, don't let it go. Just take care of it. Never between eclipse sandwiches, never, or right after eclipse. Don't ever do surgeries. Just if it's a life-threatening, of course, then we're going to go. But you know, if you just can't reschedule, then try to reschedule. Okay, but for Scorpios, so 6th house, your daily routine going to change, your work might going to change, you might going to get a different job, you have enough from your job, it's long overdue, you don't want to do anything over there, so it's creating an opportunity for you, or it's creating an opportunity for you to hire people, and it's auspicious in that way. You know, Aries rules head and eyes as well. So it could be some issue with your vision as well. So check out your visions as well. All right. So it's going to sextile with your 8th house, other people's money, inheritances, and with your 4th house, that is your home, your real estate. So Scorpios, you might going to actually change the way you work, because you're gonna start to work from home because you get a loan, or you are capable to sell your real estate or buy a real estate or move in another house, rent another house, and you leave your job behind and you're going to become home-based. Work more from home, for example, and you're going to get the foundation, maybe through an inheritance because it's sextiling without it, or through a loan. But you're gonna get funded for the new project from home. And it is trining actually with your 2nd house, and it's trining with your 10th house. Wow, that's not just changing job, it is a career that you're going to have, and it is a promotion. So even if you stay at your job, you can become the manager of the restaurant, or you can become a CEO, and through that your financial 2nd house, it's trining with your 2nd as well, Scorpios, and 6 is job. So it's all makes sense. So you're going to get promoted. So your work, your daily work going to change. You're not going to do the same work, and your financial, your finance going to increase as well. So it's beautiful in that aspects, but definitely careful with growth in the body, and just, you know, just go for a regular, it's a disclaimer, I'm a nurse but not a doctor, you always go to a health practitioner to check out whatever you need to check out. Let me see, my dear Sagittarius friends. Ooh, Sagittarius, I'm a Sagittarius rising. I'm waiting for this. I'm a Pisces sun though, so I was happy with Jupiter in Pisces because I had my Jupiter return as well, but going to Sagittarius, going to Aries right now, well, by my rising, it's gonna go in for you guys in your 5th house. But by your sun, it's gonna go to your 2nd house. So it's either way really good, because the 5th house is romance, libido, sexuality, it is investment, it is your children, and it is joy and happiness. So over there, finally, you will feel like a lot of weight get off from your shoulder. You are free again. You're ready to start. You're ready to initiate a project. And it could be some kind of creative project because fifth house rules creativity. And then Jupiter over here, especially, it's gonna go 0 degrees, right? The word axis, it's actually on May 10th, Sagittarius, and if you have a rising, and if you have any planet on 0 degree, you can buy lottery. And also Sagittarius sun, by your sun, it is in your second house, right? And what it's gonna go over here? No, it is in your first house. Wait, it is in your first house. Okay, it's trining. It's in your first house. But then your ego going to get boost because you're happy, you laugh a lot, you have romance in your life, so you feel more confident, you feel more beautiful. And then it's also going to trine with your 9th house in Leo. And what it's gonna do over there in your 9th house, it is like publishing. I'm gonna publish my book, or I'm going to be on social media, and I'm going to have my reputation could go really fast, and I'm going to be known in social media, for example, especially in Leo, 9th house in Leo, it representing like, and if you have any planet over there, oh my God, finally the recognition coming to me. Finally, they're going to know me. They're gonna recognize me. They're gonna celebrate me. It's beautiful. It's really, truly a beautiful energy, Sagittarius, for you. And you know, that's why your self-confidence is boost. But Jupiter could be very naughty in this case, for you especially, because 5th house, 3rd house, 9th house, you know, like, don't be overly optimistic or try to stay humble. Sagittarius, you are a giving people. So if you have your fame overnight, and if you're going to get recognized, stay humble. That is the way. Okay, and what else could be like? Amazing time with a lover. If you are in a relationship already, that is just going to be boost your libido and your sexual desires. An investment can pay off, a lottery ticket can come into you. It could also do very, very beautiful time and actually traveling because 9th house is overseas traveling and Jupiter is spiritual, traveling with your children or with your loved one. Yeah. And it is sextiling with your 3rd house also publishing and written, writing and talking, workshops, so you can create your workshops, you can recreate your social media platform as well. And it's going to also sextile with your 7th house. You're going to get support from friends, from business partners, and you're going to get support, for example, from your husband or wife. So this is an amazing energy for you guys. I see. I love that. Okay, Capricorns. Let's see. Capricorns is going to go to your 4th house. So most likely you're going to move. You're going to either recreate your home, redecorate, redesign, put additional rooms in your home, or you're going to sell and buy new properties, okay? Or rent new properties. So Capricorn, that's for you over here. It definitely is a blessing in your family matters. So it could create and bring in a new family member. So it could be a new family member because I was courtshiping with someone for a long time and we moved together right now. We create a family together. It could bring in a new dependent here. And for Sagittarius as well, yeah, I forgot to tell, but okay. So here, Capricorn, yes, so that is a new family member. And it's also going to trine with your 12th house, and it's going to trine also with your 8th house. 8th house is death, rebirth, transformation, inheritance. So you might going to buy a house because an inheritance is coming in. But it's also loans and banks, so you are easily going to apply for loan and get loan and get it as well. And 12th house is psychological blockages over here. So you are going to be able to get rid of an addiction, or you're going to get rid of anxiety, panic attacks. But 12th house also could represent, like, you know what, I have a house and I don't want to sell my house, but I want to invest in a foreign country in something. So this trine could represent that for you, Capricorns, as well. But definitely really great to get rid of social anxiety or panic attacks. Or if you were hospitalized for a long time, it could be like, I've been in a hospital for a long time, and right now Jupiter goes to my 4th house, so I will be transferred home. I will be home finally, and I don't have to, you know, like it's also a positive energy over here. Okay, it's going to sextile with your 6th house and with your 2nd house, so income is increasing for you, and 6th house, your daily routine is changing as well. So because, you know, like 4th house Jupiter could create an opportunity to work from home. And if you have an inheritance or loan or whatever you're going to create for yourself to have that new arrangement in your home life, you are creating a new office perhaps at home, and you're going to be capable to work from home. So that's why your daily routine is changing, because you don't have to travel to places anymore, and it's going to ease up your life because you can work from home. All right, let's see Aquarius, my dears. It's going to go to your 3rd house, and 3rd house is siblings, neighborhood, friends. So your neighborhood could change. You can get new neighbors in, or you are moving into a new neighborhood. It could be also like you're going to get reconnected with a friend or a sibling. It's friendships, and it's short traveling. So short traveling going to be supported, and you know, licensing going to be supported, because 3rd house also is education, but it's not high education. It is some kind of trading degrees, like you will become a massage therapist or astrologer or something like that. So in Aries, it's actually definitely supporting those kind of educations, and you can get degrees in that. And it could be very beneficial. It is like not a struggle over here. You're going to get it really easily if you start a real estate license, anything like that. So it could be that as well. Okay, so 3rd house, reconnection with a sibling, reconnection with friends, and especially because Mercury also going to go retrograde tomorrow. It stations retrograde today, so it could be reconnection definitely for you guys the next 3 weeks with friends and siblings. For example, short trip traveling for 3 weeks, you might going to need to cancel, but I'm going to talk about in a separate video for you. Jupiter here, it could be happening with you with writing a book, or even with publishing, because we always see the axis over here, and 3rd and 9th house, it could create some kind of yes, right now I recreate my workshops, I recreate the way I'm teaching, I'm recreating my channels, my social media platforms, and it's going to become really rich and auspicious. It's going to guide people toward to it. So it's giving a rich experience when people going to see me on social media or see my website. So it's going to trine with your 11th house, and it's going to trine with your 7th house. So definitely an engagement, a proposal for you also could come in. And if you have any planet on those houses, and any auspicious planets actually, and the 11th house is your social circle. It is your award. So you might going to get awarded for something that you've written. It's going to be well recognized. And you know, 7th house, it's like I'm getting support from my partner, someone who is there for me, a shoulder to be leaning on, so recognized by a partner as well. It could be business partner, or it could be your significant other. And actually it's going to sextile with your 5th house and it with your 1st house. So that whole situation, when you're going to get published and recognized, and your significant other going to recognize you and celebrate you, it's 1st house, it's your ego, so it's gonna boost your ego then. And 5th house, even you're going to get support from your children, or it is actually going to get some, you can go with your romantic partner, with your lover, for short trips many times the next year. So it's going to get, or maybe your romantic partner doesn't live close by, but I know you will create an energy and it will be allowed to travel to each other's back and forth, and it's going to be really loving and joyful for you. Or you just go a lot of short trip with your romantic partner, with your lover. Yes. Okay, let me see my last but not least, Pisces over here. It was in your 1st house, Pisces, and you get a lot of blessing last year. But I know it's going to move to your 2nd house of income, finance, or your birth. And over here, Aries is giving a boost for your income. So for example, maybe you didn't value yourself previously. You didn't value your knowledge. You didn't value yourself. And that's why you didn't charge as much as you wanted. Right now, you are capable to raise your prices, for example. Definitely your income going to grow and go through a significant change over here. But it is your values as well and your valuable. So jewelries. So you might going to get some kind of jewelries actually from some kind of home and family members, some kind of, because it's sextiling with your 4th house. So it could be some jewelry coming down, and it doesn't have to be inheritance. It could be someone who is alive, but a family member and wants to give you something really valuable. Or it could be also sextiling with your 12th house. So anxiety, panic attacks could be over, could be healed. Some kind of addiction can be healed as well for you, Pisces, as well. And we all know Pisces are actually capable to have addictions. And, I know a lot of Pisces and they don't drink at all, or they don't use, like I'm Pisces myself and I don't. And they were like, no, I never, But addiction could be cleaning, quite frankly, and Pisces are, like have a cleaning disorder, many of them who I know. So you can get rid of those kind of repetitive addictions, obsessions, for example, but doesn't let you to move forward in life. Because let's face it, if you constantly clean, you are not living your life. You don't live for yourself, you're living for your house or whatever you clean. But yeah, that could be an addiction. So it doesn't have to be alcohol. It could be celery juicing. You are overdone. It has a lot of celery salt, which is really good in one way. But the salt itself, could create some kind of other diseases. So yes, obviously, it could be any kind of other addiction for you, Pisces, but definitely you are increasing your money. And with the panic attacks are over, hospitalizations are over. Actually, a job in hospitals, like a nurse or doctor, could be supported for you. Or it is in the 4th house. It is also supported, like, for example, you can create a really beautiful home for yourself. So maybe because it's sextiling with your 4th house, and because of 4th house is Gemini for you, Pisces, it is like you can, Gemini is really good with smart houses. You can create a smart house for yourself. So or you can do a home office and everything is electronically super high technology in your office. For example, and it's training with your 6th house, in Leo, and it's trining with your 10th house, Pisces. Wow, that's amazing. So you had a blessing last year and you can have a blessing right now. So trining with 6th house in Leo, definitely I would be watching out with blood pressure or circulation or heart, even if it's trining, as I said, because 6th house, that's health house. And it could be actually, yes, it could be like I'm going to get healed from some kind of heart disease or some kind of high blood pressure. I can actually heal it. And the 10th house is reputation, career. So it's trining over there for you, Pisces. You can get a new career. You can get recognized overnight. It is very, very auspicious, and which is like creating financial decrease in your life. So I'm very optimistic with Aries in Jupiterian Aries. However, I do expect some kind of earthquake, tsunamis, some kind of disease with livers, with head, like for example, medical diseases or situations like that. No. Okay. So I'm sorry about that. That's my beautiful dog. Until I see you again, guys. Okay, bye.